Alright guys, today we're making Romanian fried pork ears. So you're going to need pork ears, and we are going to start by getting a lighter and singeing off all the hairs. Alright guys, so I just took the pork ears and I singed all the hairs that I could find. There's probably some more hairs around here somewhere, but and then I washed them with just some hot water and just kind of scrubbed and rubbed into them. And I also took a sharp knife and kind of just scraped along the ears to make sure I get all anything disgusting on it. Right there probably could be washed a little bit better, maybe. I'm not sure. It's not really coming off, so I'm not sure what that is. But yeah. So basically you want to singe the hairs off your pork ears. You're going to want to wash them with some warm water, and you can scrape a knife around them just to get any more gunk off there, or if there's any loose hairs that you didn't get singed off. Now, I will say, I'm not sure if it's okay to eat this ink. I'm sure it probably won't do nothing to me. Every single one has ink on it. There's ink here. There's ink there. I'm not sure if I was supposed to try to scrape that off or not. Nothing said anything about it. And since it's so faint, I think it'll be fine. Alright, so next we're going to want to get a pot and fill it with water and get it to a boil. Alright, we have some bay leaves. We're going to throw some bay leaves in there. We're going to put some salt. And we are also going to throw in a few peppercorns. I have to find them real quick though. Alright guys, so I'm not able to get this off of there to get the peppercorns out, so I'm just going to go ahead and grind it up. And I'm going to put a lot of peppercorn in this. Alright guys, our water is starting to heat up, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in my pig ears. Now we are going to let these boil. I might have to put some more water in here so that it's covered, but we're going to let these boil for 1 hour. Looks like I missed some hairs, but that's okay. I doubt I'll even eat that area anyway. When we go ahead and slice these up, if any parts that have hair on it still, I'll end up discarding. Alright, so we have 33 more minutes.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, so we're just going to take these out now that it's been an hour, and we're going to put them back on the plate, and we're going to let them cool down a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and take these bay leaves and take them off and throw them back in the pot for now. But yeah, this is what they're looking like after an hour. And we're going to let them cool down a little bit. Alright guys, so I noticed there was some more hair on these after they were cooked. I could notice it a little bit better. So I just took a lighter and singed the hairs off camera. I'm going to go ahead and wrap these in aluminum foil, and we're going to put them in the fridge. And the recipe I'm following says to let them sit overnight. However, we're going to cook these tonight, so we're not going to let them sit overnight, but we are going to let them sit for a good amount of time. It is 12:47, and I'll probably take them out of the fridge about 5 or 6 o'clock to start cooking them, so I think that'll be long enough. I am going to cut these tattoos off and not eat that part because I don't really trust it. But the rest of it will be cut up and fried. But the tattoo part I'll cut off and not even cook at all. Alright, so I see you guys in like 5 or 6 hours. Alright, so I just wrapped them with aluminum foil and into the fridge that goes.
later.
Sorry for the lighting. I had to turn this light off up here because if I didn't, it was just a big old fucking glare. So it's a little darker in here. We have 2 lights on the sides though. Hopefully it's enough. I'll probably turn this one back on when I do some other shots. But anyway, so we have our pork ears. They are more brown now that they've been boiled and left in the fridge. We are going to take some kitchen shears and we're going to cut these into smaller bites. I'm also going to cut off the tattoo and discard it. So hopefully, oh, that cuts really easily. So yeah, we're just going to cut strips. And this piece has a little bit of a tattoo, so we're going to get rid of that. I'm not sure if that's safe to eat. I figure it's probably not, honestly. I've never had pig ears. I've never tried a lot of these unique, we'll call them, foods lately. This is just something that I'm doing in October. I mean, I did try the pork bung a few months back, and I'm sure I will try some other foods like that eventually, but I am focusing most of these weird foods on October. Hope you guys don't mind me just kind of talking when I do this. So yeah, we got the tattoo off of this one. So we're just going to cut these into smaller bite-sized chunks. I hope I got all the hair off of these. I noticed after I boiled them and the pig ears got darker, there was a lot more hair that I missed, so I went back and got most of it. And that's why a few of these pieces, like this right here, it's a little bit charred because I took the lighter to that area and really got those hairs off. I mean, it won't kill me to eat a few hairs, right? But I'm not trying to. I'm just going to start cutting these into strips, and then I'll probably pick up the strips and we'll cut them in half. Definitely not doing anything uniform. So I'm not sure if you're supposed to cut all this part up and eat this too. You probably can. I'm not sure if I'm going to, because honestly, well, you know what? I might like these. So from what I was reading online, the way that we're cooking this, which is fried, supposedly they taste like pork rinds, and I do like pork rinds, and I mean that would make sense, being pork rinds are made out of pork skin and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully this tastes pretty good with like the seasoning and everything. I'm not so sure I'm going to like the texture of this though. We'll see. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and once again cut the tattoo off this one and slice this into small pieces, and I'll be back. Alright guys, this is what our pork ears are looking like. I just cut them with some shears as you saw, and this is what we got. So yeah, I'm discarding the tattoo part, which I have 2 of those. We're going to throw those in the trash. And I also just discarded this bottom piece. I don't know. I'm sure it's edible, but it looks gross to me. I mean, all this looks gross to me, to be honest. But, yeah, I'm just going to discard this. It's fine. I know it's wasteful, but, well, I'm not even sure if I'm going to eat this anyway. Like, I'm going to taste it. But if I don't like it, then I'm not going to actually eat it, and I'm going to make something else for dinner. But I might make something else anyway, because honestly, this might not fill me up. Who knows? Zara says hi. Zara, you need to get down. Hey, you need to get down, baby. Alright, so grab a bowl, and we're going to make the marinade. So we're going to add 4 teaspoons of paprika. This is a very heavy paprika recipe. It actually calls for 2 teaspoons of regular paprika and 2 teaspoons of spicy paprika, but I do not have spicy paprika. So I'm just going to use 4 of regular, and then I'm going to add some cayenne pepper into it to make it spicy. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper into there, and that should give it a pretty good kick. Alright, so we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. You could use fresh garlic, I just don't have it on hand right now, so I'm just going to go with garlic powder. There's 1, and we'll add 1 more. Alright guys, so I did add a little bit of cracked black pepper into this as well off camera. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil, and we're going to mix this all up. Alright, so we have our vegetable oil, and we're just going to put that in there. And we're going to grab a spoon or a fork or something and just stir this up. So, I will say, I think I might add a little bit more vegetable oil into this. Or maybe a little sriracha for some spice again. I am following a recipe to make these for Romanian fried pork ears, but I feel like this is just kind of dry, and it's not going to really stick or stay on the pork ears. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and add a tiny bit of sriracha. Alright guys, so I did add some sriracha, and I also added another teaspoon of vegetable oil. And this is looking a lot better, like it'll actually stick and coat the pork ears. Alright guys, so it's a little bit brighter in here. Sorry about the lighting change. We're going to go ahead and pour our pork ears in here. And we're just going to coat these as much as we can. And if they don't get coated that well, I will figure out what I need to do. But it looks like they are definitely starting to get seasoned. So yeah, I'm just going to make sure that these get nice and seasoned. I might throw a little bit more sriracha in here as well. And just mix it up in there. And then we're just going to go ahead and get a pan out, put it on the stove, pour a little bit of oil in there, not a whole lot. I think the recipe said just a teaspoon, but I might do a little bit more than that. And we're going to fry these up. And then we'll go ahead and do a little taste test. I'm not making no sides or anything. This is all I'm going to be eating. But like I said, if I don't like this, I'm probably going to eat some chicken nuggets or something. Something simple. Alright guys, I will say these are smelling really good. Kind of looking forward to trying these actually. I wasn't in the beginning. When I first bought these, I was like, oh god. But definitely looking forward to trying these, and they look pretty good. Alright guys, so we have a pan with some oil getting hot. Going to go ahead and spread this around a little bit more evenly. And then we are going to add in our pork ears and get these fried up nicely. Alright guys, so we're supposed to fry these for about 10 to 15 minutes. This pan is pretty hot. I did lower the heat a little bit, so let's see how this might, yeah. I'm a little worried about splashing or popping. Alright, so we're supposed to let this fry up for about 10 to 15 minutes. It said to put a lid on it, but I'm not going to do that. I don't have a lid for this pan. And it said to mix it occasionally, so we're going to start by mixing it, and then we're going to let it sit for a bit. I'll probably set a timer for like 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll go ahead and stir it up some more. Alright guys, so if you make this, please cover it. I just had a scare. There was a huge pop, and a bunch of the pork ears like literally popped out of the pan and made a mess. I'm going to go ahead and cover this with a baking pan, baking sheet, whatever, cookie pan. Just something so that it's covered and that they do not pop out. Alright guys, I think these are about done. I'm going to go ahead and let them, let them cook a little bit longer. As I said, these are really popping out of the pan. So it's kind of hard to stir these up. I'm going to go ahead and put the pan back on there. Alright guys, I think these are about done. I'm going to go ahead and let them, let them cook a little bit longer. As I said, these are really popping out of the pan. Alright guys, here's our crispy fried pork ears. I did just top it off with a little bit of crunchy garlic chili sauce. Looks pretty good, smells pretty good. Let's go ahead and taste test these. So we have our crispy fried pork ears. And I have some Nature's Twist Original Lemonade sugar-free. And we're going to go ahead and try these pork ears out. I will say, they don't seem like they're very crispy. I'm not sure why. I did cook them for, I think, longer than 15 minutes in that oil. But we'll go ahead and try this out. Honestly, they're pretty good. There's a lot of flavor in this. I'm not so sure that I like the texture. They're not crispy. And I also threw them in the air fryer a few minutes after I cut the film to see if I could crisp them up a little bit more. And I put them in for like 3 minutes. So they should have been crispy, but they're really not. But they are pretty good. Really getting that paprika flavor. There's a lot of paprika though. I'm not sure what that middle piece in the ear is. I'm guessing it's like cartilage or something. And it kind of has a crunch to it. Kind of hard to eat. As you can see it. But these are actually really good. It has a great spice to it. I'm sure that's from adding the sriracha and the chili sauce as well. Yeah, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10 actually. And I think I am going to eat all these. And I still might make something else for dinner. Maybe a little side or something. But yeah, I think these are actually really good. This is one of the first times I've wanted to finish my plate in a little bit. Didn't like the pork brains. All those bug videos. Not liking those so far. But this is actually pretty good. So coming up, I haven't recorded them yet. I haven't made them yet. But I bought some pig snout. So we're also going to be eating pig nose here soon. I also bought a beef heart, which I've never had before either. I'm going to have to try and figure out how to cook that. And I also got pork tongue. I was going to get beef tongue, but it was a lot more expensive. So I ended up getting pork tongue, so lots of pig eating. And yeah, we'll see how those videos go. Stay tuned, and I'll be making those videos soon. Alright guys, subscribe, share, like, and comment. Thanks for liking, and we're almost at 100 subscribers, so I really appreciate that. See you guys in the next video.